Okay, let's get started. Hi, my name is Nermeen Ghazi, and this is my project partner, Elio Brema. We are presenting for Data Management System Design class for spring 2025, the final project, the web-based database management system. We can go ahead to the next page for project overview. Essentially, the mission or the goal of this project was to take several databases within the NMA hospital management system. And the goal was to design and build out using Flask, Python, MySQL, and HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap to support essentially the operational and administrative needs of the hospital environment. The essential point or the goal of the system was to create a way to be able to connect and streamline patients, medical staff, appointments, consultations, inpatient admissions, surgeries, medical data records, and any other ability to be able to ensure that the aggregate operation and tracking of the daily operations and staff were able to be centralized for a much more user-friendly interface. And the way that we were essentially went about building this is by building out a dashboard that would track daily operations. So we had the focus of being able to track the total counts of patient as well as medical staff. We also wanted to focus on interactions with appointments and surgeries, consultations and clinics, as well as clinical beds and admissions. Then we took it a layer back and deep dived into inpatients and surgery schedule. We also made sure to include available beds to get an understanding of what the capacity for the potential demand of patients coming in was, along with staff on duty and appointments that could be accessed through just a very simple click. And what we also wanted to ensure that we did was we wanted to be able to take a look at the aggregate level, at the monthly level, to ensure that we're taking a look at patient registration and admissions as well. So here you'll actually find that there's the modules listed here. We won't go too in detail, but rather we'll focus on the design section, which is essentially showing you somewhat of the ontology of the entire systems that we just mentioned, how they interact with one another, and the types of interrelationships that lie therein between each one of these objects with the nouns and the verbs that are interacting them. And then what we're going to see here is the data schemas listed. We won't list them each out line by line because they are included in the report, but we did include some of the tables such as surgery, consultation treatment, medication prescription, and there are also junction tables that are able to link these relationships either in many-to-many, as well as work schedules. Then finally here, we're going to take a deep dive into how we went about creating these databases. We used MySQL and Flask. And here is a quick screenshot demonstrating the Flask in Python using VS Code. And then finally, the application front view as well. So I'll hand it over to Ali in a minute to be able to demonstrate the dashboard. And we're going to take this step by step, being able to click through each one of the sections relating to each portion of the overall data schema and how they represent one another. One thing to highlight here that's actually quite innovative is that the dashboard is clickable, which means that it's dynamic and is not a simple stagnant dashboard, but you can actually interact with it to be able to get a deeper understanding of the data that lives underneath. So with that, Ali, I'll hand it over to you for the dashboard demo.
All right, thank you, Nermeen. Like my colleague already said, my name is Ali Brema, and I'm part of our group for our finals for the CS61 project. And I'll be going over the front-end view, make sure that we can create, read, update, and delete records. And Nermeen will basically give me cue as to what module I need to work on. Let me open the front-end view. Nermeen, can you see my screen?
Yep.
I'll make sure it's recording. Okay, so we'll start with patients. So click on patients. To add new record, click add new patient, and then patient number. I'll just 51. Patient name. Just put the name that actually exists. Date of birth, I'll say 08 12 1993. Gender, I'll say male. SSN, just put random numbers. Address, I'll say blood type, I'll say B minus. Emergency contact name, I'll put an emergency phone number. I'll just put random number. And relation, I'll say primary physician. This one, ID, I need to get the primary care physician ID. So let me open this in the view, and I can go to staff, and let me say 5. Just say 5 and save. Throws an error. Cannot add or delete when it equals to. That's good. Okay, let me see. And 5. Okay. So it's accepted. Primary physician that I just entered.
Wonderful.
Let me see. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So now we have 11 records. Let's check the dashboard. It's 11.
Yep.
And the record is here. David Squire, date of birth, gender. And now to make sure that, it's we can edit the record, you can click on edit. Let's say I want to change, can I change?
Maybe the
Let's say,
emergency contact. I feel like that's
yeah,
go ahead.
contact name, right?
Yeah, I feel like that's like a realistic thing that would change.
Yeah, okay. I'll just say and then let's click save, and the record was updated. And then let's say if we want to delete, click on delete. Says, are you sure you want to delete this patient? Click OK. So let's check the dashboard. The record has now reduced from 11 to 10. And then let's go to the next one. We know that we can add patients.
So I think the next we just did the add create patient, and then we did edit, and then we did delete, right?
Yes.
I think the next one is physician appointments and read physician appointments in the list view.
Okay. So these are the physician appointments. To schedule an appointment, we click schedule appointment. And these are patient's name. We just deleted that patient. We could have just used that to create an appointment. Well, we can use another existing patient and choose a physician. And appointment date, I'll say 5/12/25. Start time, I'll say 2:00 p.m. end time 2:30 p.m. and you can either say schedule. If the appointment has been completed, we update and then say completed. For now, we say schedule. So we already scheduled this appointment to make sure that this appointment can be updated and deleted. You can click edit and then we can probably say completed. Let's see. So there you go. It says completed. And besides that, this was done on the 11th. So maybe I'll just leave this as scheduled and then just make sure these appointments are completed. 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 And this also completed.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Amazing. I
So
think
this demonstrates that we can write, update, and delete a record.
perfect. And I think the next thing on our list is to be able to read consultations in the list view.
Okay, click on consultation. This is a list view. You can add new consultation and then choose a name, doctor, and then dates. I can say 5/11/2025 session. I don't know what not to add, but basically we can
Patient is complaining of a upset stomach. You can keep it very simple.
stomach issue.
Yeah, something really simple.
Yeah. Okay. Save consultation. It's saved. Ella Davis, and this is for today. So that tells you we can basically add, but we are not allowed to edit or delete a consultation. So that was why we don't have like a delete or edit
Yeah,
button on the consultation. I want to make sure
yeah.
the documents reflect that. I'll check it before we submit. And then what will be the next one?
So the next one that we have is being able to read patient diagnoses.
Okay. So this is the diagnosis list view. And like consultation, we are not allowed to edit or delete. Because when we were preparing this web database system, we decided not to include them.
Right.
So you can add diagnosis. These are pre-populated diagnosis, patient's name. You can choose a doctor and the date of consultation. You can say third, 3/25. Let's see, consultation. Saved. And the record has been saved. It's right here.
Nice.
Yeah, and then let's go to the next one.
The next one is for inpatients being able to read admission in the list view.
That is admission. So once we get a new patient, we click add inpatient admission. We choose a name. Let me see, Henry White. Select available bed. Select clinic. Admission dates. I'll put today. 5/11/2025. Discharge dates. We cannot put discharge dates because he was admitted today. Then click save. So it's added Henry White. Click to record. Yeah, so
Perfect.
that's it. We can go to the next one. It's
Next
it's a
one.
lot. It's a lot of forms. I don't know if we have to go through each and every one.
Yeah, I was just wondering about that.
Yeah,
Let me see here. So, I mean, we have clinics, we have surgeries.
yeah. Clinics. It's just to add like a clinic. I don't think we need to add any clinic right now.
Yeah, I think
But
the most
I
important.
tested it. It works. I can say. I mean,
Whole clinic named after me.
I can put 24. Um, Jersey Avenue. Add clinic. It's added, and the date it was created is also included here. So I tested most of these and they're all working. You can add new staff, staff name, address, number, and sorry. So let's see if this staff is a physician, it will request for the license number, specialty, and physician type. And if it's a surgeon, it will ask for contract duration, surgeon type, and amount. If it's a nurse, the grade, certification status, years of experience. I'll say 3, active, grade, I'll say G2. And yard staff. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Let me see. Okay. So staff information saved successfully. And the ID is 2007, 2007.
Yeah, perfect.
So these have all been tested. We can add shift. Just need to choose the clinic. Let me choose naming clinic, Nurse Young, and I assume she's working tonight. In date, I'll say 7 p.m. In date 7 a.m. in schedule saved. So let me see. Yeah, I just entered this record. This one, sorry.
Mm. I think what's also really important to highlight here for the professor is that this is actually pretty reflective of what current hospital software actually looks like. So things like Epic as well, this is very close to how they interact or how the experience is for actual hospitals and hospital staff. When being able to make appointments, edit consultations, edit surgeries on the surgery floor, things like that. So it's pretty good.
Yep, yep. So
So LU, I think what I remember from the requirements is that we needed to demonstrate at least being able to interact with the dashboard. I think
yeah,
we also showed a presentation real quick in the beginning of the report. I
yep.
One thing that I want to highlight, if it's okay with you, let's go back to the main dashboard because the professor, you had also asked for us to demonstrate something that would set our project apart. And I really want to highlight how the dashboard is interactable, where it's
Yeah,
not just like a flat dashboard, kind of like a Tableau, but you can actually click into it and be able to be taken to the respective list view. So like if you click on inpatient, for example,
yeah,
it's able to take you directly to the
yeah,
upcoming for today, which is huge.
yeah.
Um,
And these are the new records that we added today.
exactly. So you don't have to like go
Definitely.
through like an Excel file, for example, and like input filters or anything like that. It just does it for you and it automatically adjusts to the day. Um, yeah, so it's
And
actually
I can go back and then basically click on appointments.
and then of course we did demonstrate that when you make an edit, it does also accurately reflect on the dashboard as well, which is very important. You want to make sure that you're getting a very quick turnaround in terms of your data, CI/CD update.
And we have one consultation added today. And we don't have any surgery scheduled for today. We have 3 available beds. We have 2 staff on duty. Um, Actually,
Or one staff going across
it's supposed to be one. Yeah,
is actually quite accurate. So
yeah,
is
yeah.
our
Exactly what we entered. So,
yeah.
and probably I can delete one and see if it reflects on the dashboard.
Yeah, actually, if you go back to that real quick, Elio, I want to actually highlight that's super important because a lot of what hospitals experience in today's age and why they struggle so much with their database management and design is nurse scheduling. So there's a high report of nurse burnout, and the reason why is because you end up having, interestingly enough, issues like this. So this is actually quite common
Yeah,
for today's day where nurses are being over scheduled. So
yep,
this dashboard, we're very clearly able to see, oh wait, Nurse Kelly Young has been scheduled at 2 separate clinics all on the same day, and her shift.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. That's true. So
exactly.
these these are some of the things that probably need refinement. Yeah, so
So not necessarily a refinement. I think the dashboard's actually doing exactly what it should be doing, which is
yeah,
surfacing like when there might be potential issues. And like that's the exact point. Like when you create a really nice interactive sort of database management here, if you didn't have this dashboard or if you didn't have this application in front of you, you would not have such a dynamic way of being able to
exactly.
so this is actually very, very important.
Yeah, but then we can also add validation logic that would probably have warned us that Nurse Kelly was scheduled to work at main clinic, so you were not supposed to schedule Nurse Kelly for another to work at another clinic. So that was what I was saying that
Yes.
I need some refinement. But anyway, it's a good try. We can see it. The dashboard is able to show us. So basically, we can go to staff, actually shifts, and see Nurse Kelly was assigned here in here. And we can basically show that we can delete record. It's deleted. We can go back to the dashboard, click staff on duty. Nurse Kelly is only scheduled to work at Namin Clinic.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yep.
And then we know also that we just need to rearrange the nurse schedule to be able to make sure that the other clinics are fully staffed.
Yep. So for now, I think I'm just gonna click on these modules on the sidebar to show that they exist and we created them. Um, yep. So I guess we've summarized everything that the dashboard does. We're able to create, read, update, and delete a record.
Mhm.
Namin, you have anything to say to conclude?
I just want to say that I hope it's clear that the dashboard was designed with user experience in mind. You can clearly tell that, we don't want just a flat dashboard. That's the same thing as an Excel file. LU worked really hard to make sure that it was dynamic and clickable and interactive for the user and easy to access certain information. So you'll notice like at the top, there's the sort of nouns of the database design or the database system itself with patients, appointments, consultations. So if I were to come in as a user and I knew that I wanted to look at certain interactions, the menu at the very top of the dashboard is incredibly helpful. While at the same time, there's a bit more like granular, almost like secondary pieces of data that I might be able to interact with on the left-hand side, like illnesses, allergies, patient illnesses, like as a nurse, if I wanted to make sure, or as someone who's scheduling consultation or administering some sort of vaccine or something, these are bits of data that would usually be buried within, piles upon piles of Excel sheets. So the most important thing is that what the database system here is doing is that it's surfacing that data that would typically be very hard to get to and to interact with.
Yep. With that being said, I feel like that concludes our presentation, unless if you have anything else you have in mind that you think we should add.
Yep, I'm glad. Thank you so much. This has been wonderful.
Yeah, thank you for all your help and your professionalism, and to all the to our professor for guiding us to make sure we are able to get to this stage. Thank you. Okay, so I just